Let's get you the latest from China, where they opened the twice in a decade Communist Party Congress that ended with a speech from Xi Jinping, and he is expected to receive a third 5-year term, breaking with recent precedents and establishing him as arguably the most powerful Chinese politician since Mao Zedong. Xi was delivering a lengthy speech which went on for 2 hours, however shorter than the last time that he made that speech in 2017. He went on to talk about Taiwan. He also spoke about he's slamming external forces, saying that they're not ruling out using force as far as it comes to Taiwan. He also hailed Hong Kong's transition from chaos to governance. He went on to talk about China, putting people first as in terms of the COVID-19 pandemic. With Xi Jinping expected to remain, little change is foreseen in China's economics as well as the foreign policies, as well as his intolerance of criticism and hardline approach in COVID-19, including quarantines and travel bans. More than 2,300 of the party's 96 million members attended the opening ceremony, and this is a week-long conclave that will go on. The Congress is the 20th in the history of the century-old party. To get more details about what went on at that opening ceremony, we have with us Dong Zhuai, a CGTN reporter who's joining us from Beijing. Zhuai, if you could tell us how different is this party Congress from the others that we've seen in the past?
Well, Olivia, first of all, thanks for having us. You know, the 20th National CPC Congress, the work report proposed by the preceding 19th CPC Central Committee consists of basically 15 different categories, many layout goals, tasks, and major policies for the developing the cause of the party and the country in the next 5 years or even longer period of time to come, putting forward a series of new approaches and strategies and measures. Well, although the opening session wrapped up in less than 2 hours, comparatively shorter than the one which held 5 years ago, because I remember sitting in the Great Hall of the People, 5 years ago, listening to the work report for over 3 hours in 2017. But however, that doesn't mean, the content is less important or what is actually more focused and condensed this year. Well, I hear a grand vision of for China in each of the core areas, and domestically and internationally, we hear very specific plans in many aspects. For instance, China will continue opening up and continue its anti-corruption campaign, will promote the new development concepts, will continue, development of national defense and science and technology, and also a new term being brought up that's called the Chinese type of modernization. Well, under this term, it includes to, reach the common prosperity or concept initiated by Xi Jinping, and also the peaceful development throughout globally. And she also mentioned the two long-term goals the CPC will pursue. First, to basically realize socialist modernization from 2020 through 2035. Second, to build China into a greater modern socialist country that is more prosperous, strong, democratic, culturally advanced, harmonious, and beautiful from 2035 through the middle of this century. Well, next 5 is actually the beginning of the next goals, so there will be a lot to continue to be monitored in the years to come. Lydia.
Right, and the focus is to turn around the economic situation, which has taken quite a big hit with the zero COVID policy that's been in place for years now. That's involved lockdowns and forced quarantines for a prolonged period of time, unlike any other nation.
Well, actually, there's not a lot of information being provided from the work report regarding the COVID, regarding the COVID policies. But as I mentioned, as we've been talking earlier, a couple of hours ago, there will be a lots of press conference held by different departments from the Chinese central government. So I'm sure we will have a clear picture once, the relevant department held their press conference. Then we will probably get the answers from them.
Right, absolutely. So many firsts here. The term limits for the president, they have been eliminated this time around, enabling Xi to continue for his third term as the head of state. Also in terms of the age limit that's set for 68 for senior officials, and those above that tend to retire around the time of the conference. But this time around, we are seeing that Xi Jinping, who's 69, will continue, and he will be going in for his third term. Thank you so much for joining us on the broadcast. Well, let's just listen in to Xi Jinping, who obviously spoke about Hong Kong. He did mention Taiwan, not ruling out use of force when it comes to Taiwan, speaking and slamming about the external forces that are interfering with that situation in Taiwan. Let's listen in.
面对香港局势
In the face of turbulent developments in Hong
我
Kong,
们依照宪法和基
the
本法
central government exercises
有效实施
overall jurisdiction over
对
the
特别行
special
政区的
administrative
全面
regions
管制
as
权，
prescribed by China's constitution
落实
and
爱
basic
国者
law
治
of the
港
Hong
原
Kong
则，
special administrative
香
region
港局
and
势实
ensure
现
that Hong Kong is
由乱到
administered
治
by
的
patriots.
重大转折。
Thanks to these moves, orders have been restored in Hong Kong, marking a
面
major
对台
turn
独
for
势
the
力
better in
分裂
the
活动
region.
和
In
外部
response
势
to
力
separate
干涉台湾事
activities
务
aimed
的
at Taiwan
严重
independence and
挑
gross
衅，
provocations of
我
external
们坚决
interference
开
in
展
Taiwan
反
affairs,
分裂、
we
反
have
干涉
resolutely fought
重大
against
斗争，
separatism and
展示了
counter-interference,
我们维护国家
demonstrating
主
our
权
resolve
和
and
领土
ability
完整，
to safeguard
反
China's
对台
sovereignty
独的
and
坚强
territorial
决心
integrity
和
and to
强大
oppose
能力。
Taiwan independence.
突如其来的新冠肺炎疫
In
情，
responding to the sudden
我们
outbreak
坚
of
持人民至
COVID-19,
上，
we
生
put the
命至
people
上，
and their lives above
坚
all
持
else,
动态清零
and
不
to
动摇，
tenaciously pursue a
开
dynamic
展抗
zero
击疫
COVID
情
policy,
人民战争，
in launching an
总体战。
all-out people's war to stop the
战。
spread of the virus.
最大限度保护了人
We
民生
have
命安
protected the
全
people's
和身
health
体健
and
康，
safety to the greatest
统筹疫情
extent
防控
possible, and made
和经济社会
tremendous
发展
encouraging
取得重
achievements
大
in both
积极成
epidemic
果。
response and economic and social development.